Do you know what our ancestors feared most 30,000 years ago? It wasn't the freezing wind that pierced to the bone, nor the gnawing hunger in their stomachs. They feared the silence. That specific, unnatural silence that falls just a moment before danger leaps from the shadows. At night, this world did not belong to us. The night was a time for hunting. And if you didn't make it to the saving light of the fire, you became the prey. For one night, let's forget our civilization and return there. Let's try to live through what they experienced. But I must warn you, not everyone made it to dawn. To understand their dread, you need to know what was watching them from the darkness. These weren't just animals. They were perfect hunters, forged by the Ice Age. The master of the night was the cave lion. A quarter larger and more powerful than its African descendant, it was a silent stalker. It didn't need a roar to inspire terror. It only needed to appear from nowhere, delivering a single, precise strike. If you heard a strange laughter in the night, it meant a difficult ordeal lay ahead. The cave hyenas were giants of their kind. They were not cowardly scavengers. They were intelligent, organized pack hunters whose jaws could crush the bones of a mammoth. They didn't fear fire as other predators did, and their persistence knew no bounds. And then there were the wolves. Tireless, intelligent, capable of pursuing their prey for dozens of kilometers until it collapsed from exhaustion. Man was weak in this world. He was inferior in speed, strength, and senses. At night, far from the camp, he was not at the top of the food chain. He was just another link in it. And his only chance was to outwit those who were born to hunt. Now imagine a small family, a hunter, his partner, and a child, cut off from their tribe by a sudden, blinding blizzard. Their only shelter is a shallow rock overhang that barely protects them from the piercing wind. But their greatest enemy right now isn't the cold. Their main protector, the fire, is slowly dying. The damp branches they manage to gather hiss and smoke, giving off almost no heat or light. Icy gusts of wind burst into the shelter, trying to extinguish the last flame. They are trapped. And it is in this moment, as the darkness becomes almost absolute, that they hear it. A low, guttural roar that sends a shiver down the spine. It's still far away, but it knows they are here. The siege has begun. But do not think of them as helpless victims awaiting their fate. Their bodies were weak, but their minds were sharper than any fang. This was their greatest weapon, forged in thousands of desperate nights just like this one. In their hands are not just sharpened sticks. These are spears with flint tips, sharp as razors and capable of piercing thick hide. And the hunter has an Atlatl, a spear thrower. This simple lever of wood or bone is a brilliant invention that tripled the range and power of a throw. It allowed him to strike a target with accuracy while keeping a safe distance. Fire was not only a shield, it was also a sword. Prepared torches and burning embers thrown into the darkness could make even the boldest predator flee. But their ultimate weapon was not in their hands. It was between them, teamwork. While one desperately tries to revive the fire, the other two, standing back to back, become a single organism, monitoring every rustle in the dark. This was a battle not of muscle, but of intellect and the will to live. And then the darkness grew eyes. Two glowing coals igniting at the very edge of the light. The cave lion doesn't attack. It just sits, watches, studies. This is a war of nerves, and it knows the time is on its side. Every cracked twig, every gust of wind that makes the flame dance is a form of torture.
The humans don't take their eyes off it, their knuckles white as they grip their spear shafts. Suddenly, from another direction, comes a sickening, bubbling laughter. Hyenas. They are bolder than the lion. The pack begins to circle the shelter, appearing and disappearing in the gloom. They test the defenses, looking for a weak spot. One of the beasts makes a sharp dash forward. The hunter reacts instantly. A thrust of the spear. A shriek of pain rings out, and the shadow leaps back. A small victory, bought with precious energy. But the worst is yet to come. The wood is nearly gone. The fire, their only shield, is dwindling to a handful of glowing embers. The circle of light shrinks, and the shadows press in. Now they can hear everything. The heavy breath of a beast, the scrape of claws on rock. It feels like the end. In a final moment of desperation, the woman throws a bundle of dried grass mixed with animal fat into the embers, their last resort. The fire erupts furiously, for a moment pushing the darkness back and revealing the snarling faces within it. They have bought themselves a few more minutes of life. The night does not end suddenly. It slowly and reluctantly gives way to a gray, joyless light. The creatures of the dark dissolve into the pre-dawn mist as silently as they appeared. The silence returns, but now it means salvation. They survived. But there is no joy on their faces, only an endless leaden exhaustion. Their eyes are sunken, their skin covered in soot and sweat. On the hunter's arm is a deep scratch, crudely bandaged with a strip of hide. They don't move, they just sit, listening to the morning, until their bodies stop shaking. They survived the night, but they know there will be another. Survival is not a victory, only a reprieve. And for that reprieve, they paid with everything they had. This wasn't just one terrifying night. It was nights like these that forged us into who we are today. The constant threat, pressing in from all sides, became the greatest catalyst in history. It forced our brains to work at their limits, to find creative solutions, to anticipate danger. It forced us to speak, to coordinate our defense, and to huddle in tight-knit groups, because only together did the weak have a chance. And this legacy flows in our blood. The next time you flinch at a sudden noise behind you or feel an unexplainable anxiety while staring into a dark window, know this: it is not just fear. It is genetic memory, an echo of those nights when any mistake meant you would not see the dawn. This is just one of the countless stories of survival that made us human. If you want to continue exploring the harsh and majestic world of our ancestors, subscribe to the channel. Many more journeys into the past await you. We are the children of those who survived. Our every peaceful morning, every warm and safe home is built on the foundation of their nameless deeds. They looked into the eyes of nocturnal monsters so that one day their distant descendants could look up at the stars, unafraid of what lurks in the shadows.